Hello guys, welcome to Free Automation Learning channels. So, my name is Chirag, and today I will discuss and the remaining topic which we stopped in my previous video. So, guys, it is a request, if you are seeing this video, please watch my previous video because this is a continuous video from the previous video, right? So, in previous video we have already discussed. Let me open what we had discussed. We already discussed about class, object, method, and now I'm going to discuss with you constructor, interface, abstract class, and method. So why we use constructor, interface, and abstract class and method. So guys, I'm just explain you the basic concepts of Java, because when we create first test script by using Selenium Web Driver, then these concepts you will see that I'm using this concept. So that's why I am going to explain you. So I will create a new channel for the CoreJava where I will explain you all these concepts in details. So till now just try to understand what I will going to explain you what is a constructor, interface, abstract class, and in upcoming video if anything need required for the Selenium Web Driver regarding the Java, so I will create that video for you so that you guys understands why we use Selenium Web Driver and what is the concept behind Java concept behind in Selenium Web Driver, right? So everyone says web driver is an interface, so you guys have to know what is an interface. If you know what is an interface in Java, then you easily understand Selenium Web Driver interface. So I will explain you step by step, just stick with me. So now I'm going to explain what is a constructor. Give me a few minutes. So this is a constructor. Constructor is a special type of method that is used to initialize the object. As we already discussed in previous video what is an object, and constructor is used to initialize the object. It is invoked at the time of object creation. When we created any object, at that time constructor is invoked. I will show you everything in details and everything in practical way. So it's just a knowledge so that you guys have also a basic theory knowledge and also a practical knowledge. So for now you can understand that it is a special type of method is used to initialize the object, and it invoke at the time of object creation. Second things, rules for creating constructor. There are two rules for the creating constructor. First, constructor name must be same as it is a class name. So the class name and constructor name should be a same. Constructor must have no explicit return type. It means it does not have any void or any return type. So as we previously discussed, we can create a method which returns integer string. So this type of things is not present in constructor. If it is present in constructor, then it is a method, not a constructor. I will show you this thing also. So types of constructor, there are two types of constructor. Default constructor, where is no argument passed in that constructor, and parameterized constructor. So this is the syntax of constructor. If there is no constructor in a class, compiler automatically create a default constructor. So if you do not create any constructor, that at the time of compiler create a default constructor, and because when we create an object, then a constructor should be present. So compiler create there is automatic a constructor. So now it's a time for the practical. I will open my Eclipse and show you the things. the Eclipse, and this is the method which we were talking here in previous video. Now we will talk about constructor. As we discussed that constructor is invoked at the time of object creation. What do you mean this mean? So first rule of constructor name should be same as class name. So I just copy this and I will create a public constructor. Constructor is any type. It can be a private, it can be a public, it can be, so this things I will discuss you later. These topics I will explain you my new channel called Java. So till now just understand what is a constructor so that we can use this constructor concept in Selenium Web Driver. So I'm going to create a constructor here. This is a constructor, right? And now in this I'm going to print constructor is invoked, right? Now as I explained you that main method should be present if we want to execute our Java code. So I'm going to create a main method. This is the main method, and now I'm going to create an object. So this is our object which I am going to create. Obj is equal to new this and this. So when I write this code, so just make comment and copy this code. When I write this code, then constructor should be invoked, right? Constructor is invoked at the object creation. Here we create a object of class first class, so constructor should be invoked. So let me run this code and show you what I am trying to say. See the result. Constructor is invoked. Here we are creating a object, so constructor should be invoked, right? So first thing is this. Second, the rule of the constructor. First, class the constructor name should be a class name. There is no void or no integer type, and constructor is invoked at the time of object creation. Now there are two type of constructor. First is default constructor where is no any parameterization. So this is a default constructor because there is no argument or parameterization. Second is a constructor with parameterization or argument. Constructor CUNSTRUCT or constructor should have constructor with argument, right? So I'm creating another constructor with argument int a, int b. Let me comment this constructor. just I'm going to print the parameter which we are going to pass. So a value plus a, and for b value b. And now you are seeing that it give me error because the constructor which we are going, it have two argument in a and b. So when we are creating any object, anything, so we have to give the parameter for this constructor, right? So now if again I write new first class and pass to constructor 5 and 10. Now I will run this this class, and now we will see that 5 comes here and 10 comes here. As you guys see that a is equal to 5, b is equal to 10, right? So this way we create a constructor with the argument. So why we use constructor? Suppose we have to give any value for this a. So by doing this, when we create any object, then by default this a initialized by the 5 and b initialized by 10. So in the Selenium Web Driver we can use constructor concept when we have to give my driver value to any other class. So by using this constructor concept we can pass argument, we can pass driver value, Selenium Web Driver value to the required variable. So this is a constructor, right? And now I say if I forget anything for the constructor, where we explain default constructor parameterization, there is no, and at the time of object creation it will be handled. So this is a constructor. So guys, never never get confused between the method and constructor. Constructor is a special method which is used to invoke at the time of object creation, and which is used to initialize the object. Means if we have to give any value at the time of object creation, we can pass that value into a constructor as a parameterization and initialize that value to the specific variable. So this is used for the constructor. Now I'm going to use is what is a interface. As you say, interface is a blueprint of a class. It has a static, constant and abstract method. Why we use interface? By using interface we can achieve abstraction. So basically abstraction is one of the OOPS concept. I will discuss the OOPS concept in the CoreJava channel. So by this, just try to understand what is the interface and why we use interface. We use interface to achieve abstraction, and by interface we can support the functionality of multiple interface, right? Now I'm going to show you what is an interface, how we can use interface in practical. Go to my project. This is src. This is my package which I am using. Let me save this and close this. And now I'm right click new interface. I'm creating driver interface, just a driver. and modifier is public. Click on finish. So this is a interface which has a driver. So in interface we just declare the variable or method. If we declare any method I is equal to 50, so this is a constant, because by default any value which come in interface is a static and final. As a display is here, it has a static constant. So this is a public static final, so we cannot change this value later. Now I'm going to use this int variable, and this is one method, public void ff driver, right? For the in the interface we just give this method name, and we do not give any implementation. When we inheritance this driver interface into any class, at that time we have give the implementation of that method, right? So suppose we have to create three driver. There is a Firefox driver, public, there is a Firefox driver, and now I'm going to show you how we can implement the code of this this method, and how can we use. So I am going to create a new class. This is driver, and now I'm going to implement the driver interface, where we have to implement where we have to implement interface into a class. Then we use implement and driver. So by doing this, you can see that this error appears. It is showing me that add implement in methods. So I have this method, I just declare here, but I do not write any code. So when I implement this driver into this, so it is telling me that add an implement method means to add ff driver code here. So just I am move the cursor here and add an implement method. So when I click on add an implement method of ff driver method comes here, right? And by default there is a implementation comes. So here I just give sso0 ff on window, right? Suppose why we use give me a second. Give me a second. We have to add this, and we have implement sys ff on window. So here we have to give Now we have implement this method as system out dot print and ff on window, right? So why we use interface? Suppose there is a ff driver. Ff driver is maybe anything which we have to run on multiple OS. So for this driver initialize, we have any code which write on ff run ff of window. So there is another code, same things I have to run on Mac. So for Mac OS we have a different code, different way to handle the things. So so that why we have to write there is another code. So now we have driver initialization Chrome, sorry, for Mac. Now again I am going to implement driver interface. It's give me a same error. I just unimplement this sso ff on Mac, right? So I have created a one method ff driver. I in interface I just declare this method but do not write any code or any implementation in interface. And then I create two class, first a driver initialize. In this suppose I have a ff driver method, and this in by using this class I am writing the code to run on window application, right? For there is again I am create a new class driver initialize Mac. Here I have write the code which run ff on Mac. So this is the concept why we are using interface. Now I'm create a new class where I write the code how to run this. This is my main class, main driver class with the main method. Now here I'm going to create a object. So this is driver obj bin and driver initialization, and this here we have to create a new, right? So obj win dot ff driver. When we run this code, then the code which we have written on to handle the window based application, that code will be run. Just give me a moment, I will show you. See this ff on window. Now I'm going to run same code for obj Mac is equal to new driver initialization Mac. Now obj Mac ff driver. So by using this code I am able to, this is a ff driver, right? And we have initialized, we have implement that method on here, and for main class we are trying to implement we are trying to call this method. So see this ff on mac. So same concept is using for the Selenium Web Driver. This is our Selenium Web Driver where we have a method in declaration. Suppose click, options, window, maximize window, all these common methods are declare on this. So there is for and other classes are implement this method and implement this method the same way how we have implemented here. And for our class we just create an object and use that method. So I'm trying to tell you this is the concept between behind the Selenium Web Driver. When we create our first test script, then we are able to understand what is how we can create an object, how we can call that method. So guys, if you have any query, just please let me know in below comments how we why we use a driver as an interface, and how we implement this method and why we call this method in a same thing. So this is my interface, which is a driver. I have declared one method, and this is a class where I have to implement the code, and this is the main method where I have to execute the code or create a object and call that method, right? So by using this we can achieve a abstraction, 100% abstraction. Now next topic was abstract class. So basically abstract class is declared as an abstract keyword. It is known as a abstract class. It can have abstract method without body and non-abstract method with body. So what do you mean by this abstract? Basically abstract and interface both achieve a abstraction. What is abstraction? Abstraction is one of the oops concept which Java which follows. So interface achieve 100% abstraction, because in interface there is only declaration. We do not implement any method. In abstract class, in abstract class in abstract class we have uh, in abstract class has method which has implementation, and it also has the methods which have only declaration. So how can we create an abstract class? I'm going to show you. So why I'm discuss abstract class and when we work in Selenium Web Driver, there is some class in Selenium Web Driver jar file which are abstract. So in abstract class we have both kind of method, the method which have the code and method which have only declaration. But in interface there is the only method which have only a declaration. We do not have any method which have the code. But in Java 1.8 we can create a method by the code. Those method are like a public default room. So by using this keyword default or static, we can write my own code in an interface, right? And this concept to use keyword default and statics was intro and introduced in Java 8. This by using default keyword or by using static keyword we can declare or implement method or method in interface also, right? But it was introduced in Java 8. Before we can't do these things. We just have a method which only have the declaration, right? So now I'm going to create an abstract class and show you the difference between the interface and abstract class. This is a new class test ABS. Here I create method public void driver public void chrome driver. So when I so when this is a simple Chrome driver. So this is a simple method which we already shown you in previous video, that just uh, give the method name, this is a return type, this is a modifier, this is a public, and I write the code Chrome driver. Now here I just declare, I do not implement the code. So doing this, it's shown me a error. It's saying add a body, you have to write a body, or otherwise you have to change this class to abstract class, right? So I am going to change this class as a abstract class. Give me a think and write this a abstract method. So by using abstract keyword we can have a abstract class, and by using abstract keyword we have a abstract method. So by in abstract class we have a both method which is a abstract method or which is a not a abstract method. But interface we can only a method which can be declared. But by using keyword static and default, we can also declare and add that body to the method which was introduced in Java 8 GRE 1.8. Now I'm going to this now I'm going to add this method to another class. This is a class and test ABS. Now here I have to extend. When we when we implement interface to the class, then we have to implement when we inheritance class to class, then we have to extend. So here I am going to in inheritance abstract class. So here I have to extend, use extends keywords, and that class name is test ABS. right? And it show me that add and implement methods or make this abstract class. So I have to add an implemented method, that is ff driver. Here I use sso ff. Now there is in this abstract class there is a two method. There is a chrome driver where is we have add the body in this method only, and there is a abstract method which we have implement in another class by extends using extend keyword. And by this I extend, this is a inheritance. Inheritance is also one of the OOPS concepts, and I am going to discuss this in upcoming video. What is inheritance and what is the use of this. From now just understand that by doing extend I am able to use the method of this class, right? If I am going to declare this class, this I am going to use the method of this class, so that's why I am to inheritance and implement the method. Now I am going to use apps main method, just a main abs. For main method I am using a main method this. I am going to create the object. For object I am using test. Right, if I run then it will show me the this ff. So I'm going to run this and it show me the ff. Right, now I am also run obj.chrome driver. Now for this it's give me a chrome driver, because when I go to declare it show me this way. So this is the abstract class and method. So in when we use Selenium Web Driver, then there is some method or abstract method. So by when we write the code for the abstract method, then you are able to relate what is the abstract method, what is the interface method, and why we use constructor. So guys, for this video I'm going to stop here. For next video I will create a small Selenium Web Driver script to use this all concept, and by when we do this, then you can easily correlate between these concepts and that Selenium Web Driver. So it is important to know you this basic concepts. That's why I have created or divided this video in two parts. For please, if you have to watch this video, if you like this video, please click the like button or subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.